Jen was being abused via text. Like, he was just saying disgusting, horrible things to her.
Abused via text.
Like, emotionally.
Literally.
And then was like, I'm going to leave you if you don't come immediately. And so she
if you're not here in the next hour.
when she was upset, she exposed to them all the mean things he did and showed the texts and stuff. And then she disappeared for 24 hours and came back and was like, we're in a great place.
Right.
I felt really bad for Jen because she was getting caught up at either the end of season 1 and the beginning of season 2. I think of like, you're a liar and Jen's a liar and Jen's a liar, and everyone's so focused on the lying. And it was really hard to watch because I'm like, well, she's being abused right now actively and she feels legitimately trapped. So
what is she supposed to do?
of course she's lying to her abusive husband. And then her friends started siding with her and being like, you are lying.
Yeah.
That was hard to watch.
What?
That was hard
So
to
messy.
watch.
They were like, you know, like after he got mad about the Chippendales, she like fibbed about how much she knew. And they were all like, you're a terrible person. Instead of seeing it as like, it gives, he whoops her ass in private.
Yeah.
Like it gives, he whoops her ass. Like it doesn't
is.
give just emotional abuse at
comes down,
all.
put his-
She came all the way put together after 24 hours. There were no camera crew. There was nothing. She came back with a smile on her face after leaving 24 hours ago in the middle of the night. Like, hi.
Yeah.
It was
It is.
scary.
Got love guaranteed, and I have to know, say,
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Therapy Rebranded, where we're consistently inconsistent.
Ding! We were trying to do it at the same time.
I forget you got to warn me ahead of time.
No, that's the
Remind
point.
me.
That's the point. We don't warn you.
Why would we have to remind you?
I got a lot of shows. I don't know.
You don't
been 2
ding for
years.
every show.
I don't ding for any shows. I know.
2 years.
I went and downloaded that effect for you on my own time. So I was thinking about it.
Thank you, Gabriel.
I just suck at remembering when it's time to start the show.
We have a wonderful guest on today,
A repeat.
Rosilynn.
A repeat.
We love a repeat.
Tell us what we're going to talk about today.
You guys, do we think we're going to talk about mental health? Are we going to talk about the downfall of the American political
All the above. All the
climate?
above.
Are we going to talk about reality TV?
Ding, ding, ding.
There's a nuclear war starting in Israel. World War III.
No.
In
We're going
Iran.
to do mom talk.
Let's
Let's do mom talk.
Mom
I
talk.
need to escape. I'm
Let's talk about the
so
Mormons.
sorry.
Let's talk about the Mormons, guys.
I'm so
I feel like
down.
I feel like it's actually on brand. I
It
feel like
is.
It's actually not that off brand. I feel like talking about mom talk is related to talking about trad wives, which is related to talking about fundamentalism and
The patriarchy.
and authoritarianism taking over, because all of those things are being pushed through mom talk, which is
It's all
the chief of it.
connected.
It's all connected.
So if you had never been on TikTok, or you're like Gabe, who's been on TikTok, I don't know what side of TikTok you're on.
We know what side of TikTok he's on, not ours.
I'm actually not on TikTok ever. That's why.
It popped right up when you looked it up on that
But
computer. You didn't
if
even
put
have to log
TikTok,
in.
It comes up.
He typed in T.
Okay, I'm not saying I've never been on it.
First, he did TI, first said titties.
And then I
Went back,
to
TikTok.
I'm surprised it didn't say that. Yeah.
Gross.
That-
But I don't Google the word titties often. So
If
yes.
you didn't,
went
if
poorly.
you've never heard of Mom Talk or The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, how would you describe that to somebody?
How would you explain mom talk to your grandmother?
I would say Mom Talk is separate from the show. Well, it's not separate from the show. It almost seems like it's in parallel with the show.
They need it in order for the show to happen.
Yes. But essentially, it's a group of Mormon moms who were basically doing basic influencer content.
They are, but they're rebranding, I think. They're rebranding moms in Mormon culture in Utah. Right? They're
Rebranding from what?
I don't know, I guess. But it's I feel like they're building a brand.
Oh, they are building a brand. They argue on the show all the time about their brand.
Right.
So basically, there's 2 seasons of the show. The second season came out a month ago, maybe a little bit less. And basically, to sum up the 2 seasons, it's a friend group arguing about who's going to be in the group and who's going to be at the top of the group. And imagine if being in the group came with money.
Yeah.
So it gets real catty real quick.
Yeah.
Sorority.
It's giving mean girl energy.
It is giving
Yeah.
you energy.
exactly the kind of thing that I need to like unwind.
Yeah.
Yes,
After
exactly. Exactly. No, it's perfect.
I took some notes so I didn't forget.
Here we go.
Yes.
All right. They're showing a video on the screen.
Do you guys have a favorite out of the Mom Talk group?
So this is going to be an unpopular opinion. I'm not going to lie, but I'm prepared for the.
Tell us.
Prepared. I have always been a Whitney gal. Rachel, what?
She's horrible.
Is she the one I thought was black?
No,
No,
that's
Okay.
Taylor.
That's Taylor. Whitney, you would never think that she was black. But she's a redhead, and they are the cousins of black people.
Taylor?
True.
Redheads.
Taylor is not. a
No, she's
redhead.
well, strawberry blonde.
Okay, who's your favorite then?
It's probably what's her name? Oh my god, I'm forgetting her fucking name.
Macy.
No, Taylor.
Oh, I like Taylor too.
It's Taylor, or I don't mind the other girl that was swinging but said she wasn't swinging. This girl, Miranda.
Miranda,
Yeah.
the new girl of season 2.
I don't mind Miranda. She's kind of done nothing, so maybe that's
Right.
also why she's kind of not stirring the pot. But
Mhm.
Whitney, I feel like can kick rocks.
Okay, here's my scoop. Here's my thing with Whitney. I feel like Whitney is just like, she's authentically her. She doesn't take herself too seriously.
Fair.
She loves a good joke.
Does she?
She can move. She dances. Like, I feel like her and her husband have come a long way. Like, I feel like for me, she gives me like honest, real girl energy. Like, I think if I
Is that
were to
Whitney?
Yes.
Yes. Like if I was to have an ideal client of the Mom Talk group, Whitney girl,
Really?
find your peace.
What is an ideal client?
Well,
That's a
for
good
therapy,
question.
right? Like for therapy, when you think about like as a therapist, right? Like we have our like ideal client of like somebody who we think we would gel well with.
Got it. Okay. Someone you could gel with.
Somebody I could gel with, somebody that I
Mhm.
think like my therapy style would work well with like the things that they're going through. And like it's definitely giving trauma for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I like Jen too, but she's not really
I do.
on.
I do
like
also
Jen.
like Jen as well.
Aren't you worried that her wet looking head and face would get on your sofa or whatever?
You're stupid.
You don't think she looks wet all the
Who
time?
looks wet?
The Whitney girl.
She has thin hair.
She was slicked
I
down
think
now,
she's
or
just the
forehead
only one
shiny.
who doesn't wear extensions.
Well, that's what I'm
That too.
saying. Like she's just like authentic though. Like
I would not call her
I don't
authentic.
think she's authentic. I think,
y'all, okay.
I don't think she's
Okay.
authentic. I think that she's very much maybe out for herself, and so like puts out this like confident type of thing. But she's like, she can't read a room, and she can't like, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine. Not everybody.
And I don't like that she came for like some like she's kind of reminds me of Demi, and I don't like Demi either. I'm
Demi-
like, they just keep on like they're like shit stirs. I'm like,
yeah.
for why?
She definitely stirs the pot, but I also think she kind of tells it like it is.
I think she tries, but she also like hides her hand,
Just got out of the shower.
which I don't fuck. She has nice skin. She's very.
I
nice
welcome
skin.
her wet hair and all
onto the couch.
onto the couch.
Do you have a favorite, Javae?
Yeah. Who's your fave?
I honestly hated all of them. I hated all of them.
Oh my god.
Good read.
You have to pick one. That's not fair.
No.
You have
You
to.
like the
You
most.
have to pick one.
That's a
You
cop-out.
have to
I knew
pick
you were
a
gonna
client.
say that. You-
Pick an ideal client at least.
I don't have ideal clients. Me and my clients are forced to
The
work
black
with
chick.
each other because they're on inpatient and I'm on inpatient. We don't have to gel. It's
What?
actually
Okay.
not the
Whoa,
point of
who's
my
that
work
one?
is to
You
gel.
know what I mean? Not one that you like, but just one that like I
You
don't know,
think
one that
you would
rose to
fit
the
well
top for you.
Yeah.
Which one is ready to leave their husband? I will work with that one.
Jen, maybe?
Jen is.
I bet
Jen
you'd like
is
to talk to the
not
black
ready.
chick to figure out how she got in a Mormon
I'm
subculture.
Good. I'm good.
Okay.
She's kind of a mean girl.
Yeah.
Layla?
So back up a little bit because
Taylor's leaving.
we just dove into all the
True.
tea, which is fine. But something I really wanted to kind of highlight about them is they're a regular girl group. Like they have like high school level maturity.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're all like high school level maturity, and it's a girl group where they're competing for who's at the top of the list.
For sure.
And instead of like dating the football player, it's like who has the most followers
oh,
Yes.
yeah.
and who's the most Mormon. They're
Yes.
competing
Yes.
over who's the most Mormon.
Yes.
So there's this whole thing going on where they keep referencing it more in the first season than the second season, Saints and Sinners.
Yes.
Yeah, they did more in the first season.
Yeah.
But there are 6 of the 9 cast members are endowed. Do you guys know what endowed means?
No.
It's like something, is it something to do with like their marriage, I think, in like the afterlife, right?
Oh,
So
they're, like,
being
tied together.
being endowed is like, so there's basically two parts of Mormon life. So it's like pre being endowed or post being endowed. So like when people say, why do these women dress so, not conservatively? And how is that possible? Like some people would say that they're just straight up inappropriate, but others would say that the ones who weren't married, like if they weren't married, they could dress like this, or if their husband's okay with it, they can dress like this. So endowed is basically like adult, like bar mitzvah or something. Like you're like crossing over into being into womanhood, and you have to go through all of these things in the temple to do so. And it usually correlates with your marriage because you are doing a vow to obey your husband when you go through the endowment. So only some of them are endowed and some aren't. And I guess like in the Mormon church, it's considered like the real Mormons kind of thing.
Why
versus the fake Mormons.
Does it say why some Mormons get endowed versus others? Is it a choice?
It's a choice, and it's like a very specific process. And that's when you're supposed to be committing to like no coffee, no alcohol, all those different things. And you're supposed to start wearing garments when you get endowed. I don't know if you guys heard the little references to garments.
Yeah, I did.
But garments, they're like Mormon. Gabe, will you pull up Mormon garments?
I feel like you did like a deep dive. I'm like, are you low-key Mormon? Like, are you
I did a deep dive. I did a deep dive.
You know an awful lot.
I did a deep dive.
I love it.
On that note, do they talk about soaking?
They don't talk about soaking at all.
What is soaking?
Yeah.
Soaking is when you, instead of having premarital sex, in quotes, you would just penetrate somebody and lay there instead of, there's no movement, so it's not sex.
You're soaking your dick?
Yes, literally.
Wait, what?
Yeah, that's what it is.
Oh, don't they do this with a sheet? Do they put the sheet there and then the penis goes inside the vagina with it? No, that's something different.
That's another thing, yeah.
No, that's basically taking all
Fridays.
it's basically taking all the pleasure away from creating a baby with a sheet. Anyways, something that intrigued me about this cast is that they were calling themselves modern Mormon women.
Yes.
And I feel like I'm being a bit judgmental, but that feels like a contradiction.
Say more.
I don't know. There's just something about like they were saying things such as like, we're fighting the patriarchy.
Yes.
We're standing up, empowering ourselves and fighting the patriarchy. So I guess like,
they're using those buzzwords. Is modern different than progressive though?
I guess. I think what I realized is like, if I look at Mormonism, so they're all in Utah, right? And there's like a huge Mormon population. So if I look at Mormonism as like a cultural thing, like you grew up in the culture of Mormonism, then like I do get the like modern versus like not.
Right.
But I don't know how like 6 out of 9 of them had to take oaths to obey their husband and feel like they're fighting the patriarchy. But then at the same time, it's like, are they fighting the patriarchy by doing self-expression while they're Mormon wives? Like there's like all these layers to it. I actually don't think it's black and white.
Right.
But it feels like a contradiction a bit.
Yeah.
I'm curious, I think.
These are the garments.
Okay.
Oh.
So they like wear those underneath the clothes? Is
Yes.
that, like the scoop?
Oh yeah, Jen was saying that she wore them on that trip. She like brought them with her and she was the only one.
Literally supposed to keep you safe and help you ascend to the highest level of heaven. So there's like 3 levels of heaven. And then when you get to the top level of heaven, I guess there's 3 in there. I don't know exactly what that looks like, but when you do the temple ceremony, you're supposed to stay in those clothes. And so like conservative clothing is basically just any clothing that you could wear over that and cover it. And so there was like a little bit of arguing over, you sound stressed.
Okay, what I'm thinking is like, okay, there's that, but I'm also thinking about all the plastic surgery.
Yeah.
I'm like, girl, if you got your little boob job, because I think they're not shy about all of the enhancements they get. So I'm like, what does the Mormon church? I mean, apparently maybe they don't say anything about that, right? Because if you got your boob job done, how are you going to fit into your garments? Question mark.
Get bigger garments, I guess.
I want a garment. Those look kind of free flowing. It looks like a moo-moo.
Those ones look like moo-moo, but the underwear do not.
No, what is the purpose of the garments again? If you can restate that quickly.
Yeah,
I'm not sure I'm following.
The purpose is it's like supposed to be a religious kind of thing that you're doing for protection.
Does it keep you like chastity?
And chastity, holiness, protection. Like you're supposed to be demonstrating that like none of your body will be shown. Even
But you can have some big old rockin' titties right underneath them though.
That ass looks protected. I'm not gonna lie.
It's like a diaper thong.
It's definitely giving blessed ass.
How often do you think the men wear them? Because there's male ones.
Never.
I want to see the men's garments. Like
I think Jen's husband wears them.
Probably.
So I also have my own curiosity around how, what, because they were kind of, all of these things that seem to be against are about seeking pleasure, right? Like pleasure seeking seems to be an issue.
Unless it's Coke. Like drinking Coca-Cola.
Oh, it seems to be an issue. And so I just lost my.
Sorry. It seems to be an issue.
It's gone. It's okay.
Pleasure seeking.
Pleasure seeking seems to be an issue.
It's gone.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well,
we lost it.
Even the thing though that I feel like is interesting is that they have this kind of they have this ideal or Mormon, right? Like this saint. But I mean, you think about the Michaela, right? Who is in my opinion, the ultimate mean girl, who was pregnant at 16, which I mean,
by
again,
a 21-year-old.
Huh?
By a 21-year-old.
Right.
And married off.
So I think that there's also, it feels like there's these double standards, right? Of is that okay in the Mormon church to be 16 and pregnant?
Yes.
Yeah.
If you're married.
I mean, the Mormon church, they're known for having the child brides and the multiple.
So I think, okay, when we talk about why is it not wrong to be basically vain and do all these cosmetic alterations.
Right.
And I feel it's because those things align with what women are seen as valuable in the church. I think being attractive and fertile are
True.
the main values of
True.
what makes a good woman.
Right.
I
Works
feel
for me.
Does it? You're divorced.
No, not at all.
You got check.
Yeah. Attractive and fertile. And so it seems they all celebrate trying to be attractive.
Right.
And the standard of attractiveness is very specific to hot, thin, Midwestern white woman.
Yes.
It's just they all have dirty blonde hair.
I could not tell them apart. The memes where it'd be who wrote the note? And it'd be Layla, okay, let me look up which one is that one again.
We can't tell.
Yeah.
So I think that's a big part of it. And there was a scene in the second season that I thought was just peak mean girl. So they did pregnancy test roulette.
So tone deaf, in my opinion.
It didn't give tone deaf. It gave intentionally mean. I
felt. Sure.
So basically there's somebody in the group who's having fertility issues. And regardless of that, they decided to do a game where they all peed on pregnancy sticks, put them in a bowl and pulled them out.
Yeah.
Even though
the two of the women pretended they didn't think they were pregnant.
Yeah.
And so then she pulled it out and was oh my God, am I pregnant? And she had the happiest moment ever for half a second and then completely crashed.
Yeah.
And then had to apologize to them, which I felt was fucked up.
And then she was literally sobbing about her infertility. And she was no, we totally get it, girl. We got to be ready in 30 minutes though.
But also we have our final dinner in New Orleans. So glam up, boo.
Are you guys trying to make them sound like sociopathic monsters, or is that
You
just
should
happening?
watch the show.
You should watch it.
I guess so.
Okay, if you want to take the empathy standpoint, which we're all therapists, so I think we all tend to lean towards that angle in terms of just okay, how did it become like this?
Right.
The reason that they're immature assholes who act like high schoolers is because they weren't allowed to develop them at all as people. They literally went from being under their parents' control in a restrictive setting to then being under the control of their husbands.
True.
And being moms. They couldn't actually finish their identity development because their identity became wife and mom before they were full people, when they were literally 17.
Yeah. They were
None of them had any chance at all. And we're told and conditioned you need to obey your husband.
Well, that's the whole thing with the swinger scandal. They bring in the whole we just did funny, silly Love Island type activities because we were all so prude and inexperienced. And it's what?
So the swinging scandal, what do you know the details of that?
So, okay, my entire Explore page for a hot minute has been
Momtok?
Momtok.
Yes.
So my understanding is that, again, it was soft swinging, right? It's not full swinging, it's soft swinging.
Do you believe them?
There's a difference.
But do you believe them?
I think I do. I think that these were like Taylor has said, it was a bunch of inexperienced high schoolers. Like, again, I'm thinking of them as high schoolers, right?
Yeah.
Who are like in this group who are like, oh my God, I've never kissed anybody else besides my husband, or, oh, I've never had sex with anybody else besides my husband. And are like, oh my God, we're high schoolers and we should be like playing around, experimenting. And so I kind of look at it was more like an experimenting type of situation that spiraled into more where like feelings got involved and marriages started to get rocky.
It gives they were playing like spin the bottle and it got like out of
They
control.
said that in season 2.
It was
They
like,
literally said that.
So they just put the head in then?
I don't believe them personally.
wait, what do you think happened?
I think that everybody did different levels of things, but I definitely think some people had sex.
Oh, for sure.
I think some people
so,
had
too.
sex, and I actually think Taylor had sex.
And also that's what
Specifically,
teenagers
Taylor
do.
had sex.
I think she did with what's her name, Miranda's husband.
Yeah.
I think
She says so.
And I think Miranda's husband caught the feels was like the whole scandal.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. But it's like,
I have
okay,
it on screen with like the full layout
Yeah.
here if you want.
what is soft swinging generally refers to engaging in sexual activity with another couple, but without going all the way or penetrating, which is a type of ethical non-monogamy. So, yeah.
Ethical enough.
And what I feel like there was like that side by side scene, right? Where like Taylor is like verbatim, like naming all the things. And I also feel like it was like them engaging in things with their partners in the same room. Like it's kind of giving like orgy vibes a little bit. But again, I mean, you think about like they've got this faith element, you've got this like spirituality element, you've got this like very
Think how much harder that is though for them to break convention and actually do the soft swinging even. You know what I mean? Like it makes it hard to believe that they, you know, because that's a big barrier for them to cross, I would imagine.
Because I feel like in their, I mean, I get the swinging part, but in their culture, like it's normal to have multiple whatevers. So I think like the visage of it is they want the public to think it's not normal, but I get.
But they're letting the women participate. That's a big break for them.
Is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So here's something that I felt like Taylor highlighted really well, which is that there's like the public persona versus the private persona. And I feel like Taylor was very open about the fact that a lot of the people who present as like very prude are doing those things behind like closed doors. There was even a scene maybe towards the end of the first season where they had a party and 1 or 2 people were drinking and everyone was appalled. And you could tell it was because it was on camera and because parents were there. Like,
right. Well, that's confusing though.
Yeah.
It's confusing because it's like you say one thing and again, it's like this whole saint sinners.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But Taylor was never endowed and she behaves like it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, she was never endowed. And the other thing about getting endowed is that you then are connected to your husband in the afterlife, but husbands can have multiple wives in the afterlife. Women cannot have multiple husbands. So if somebody gets married and like their husband dies and they marry another husband, like in theory, they will only be with the first husband in the afterlife.
Yeah, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Which is why
So I get what Rachel's saying though, is like, is swinging that far away from polyamory, which is something that like the more conservative Mormons do.
Right.
Or maybe extremists. I don't know how you would word that.
Polygamy.
What's the difference between
polygamy? Yeah, sorry, polygamy.
Yeah.
Polygamy, like multiple wives to one family.
I get what you mean. Like that's for the men, obviously. Like it's very patriarchal. It's not for them. But I feel like for the men, for these husbands to be like so entrenched and feel comfortable, like that stuff gets, even if like they don't know, I feel like interculturally, like that's normal. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like okay. It's like that's maybe like not frowned upon versus if like women are doing it. Like there's definitely a double standard, I think.
Well, I think also you can justify polyamory as, I keep saying polyamory. You can justify polygamy as like, this is about building the family and structure and like rooted in value and rooted about like men having children and men who deserve it. But I think you can't justify swinging in the same way because it's surrounding pleasure. And again, I don't think they celebrate pleasure seeking.
True.
So I think that's also part of why it's frowned upon is.
I wonder if it's also they would rather like kind of experiment and play with each other because they're like in the culture rather than you're like doing it outside. Not that it's sanctioned or it's okay, but it's like, we're not going to tell. Well, one person told, but theoretically, nobody's supposed to tell.
Right.
But I think you're right that it's,
Back to this whole like them fighting the patriarchy. Why do you think they see themselves as that?
That's a good question.
I think it's all part of their rebrand.
You think it's all branding?
I think it's all branding, in my opinion.
I'm not mad at that.
Like,
why would that be a part of their branding?
because I think, again, like, it's clickbait, right? Like, it's like people are going to watch their videos. People want to see what they have to say. People like, oh, you're Utah, you're Mormon, but they want to have this like different, again, it's like, this is 2025, right? Like, this isn't 20 years ago where we act a certain way. Like, I think, again, they're all trying to make a name for them, make a name for themselves, make a name for their group. And again, I think this whole thing of like dancing and dressing a certain way and looking a certain way, like, again, they're putting still together this like ideal person or this ideal Mormon.
It's interesting that for them fighting the patriarchy, this is going to be kind of glib, but like is just having your boobs out and being able to dance and be sexual, which maybe is for them like a stretch, but it's interesting that is like,
I think
that's
it's
as far
more
as it
than
goes.
that.
Right.
I think it's more than that because I think it's one, they're supposed to like,
they make the money.
I was
They
going to say
make
they're the
money.
providers.
Yes.
But if you notice, they're also all the primary parent too. Like they're all still at home with their kids.
Working mom.
I'm sure they have nannies, but like they're all still home with their kids.
Yeah.
Like even the ones whose husbands aren't making money are doing some like remedial job that doesn't matter because like they need to go provide. Whereas like
And they always have their
a
kids
woman
with
in
them.
that position would probably be like, well, it makes more sense for me to be doing
Yeah.
this work because it's valuable, but that's
Right.
frowned upon,
Yeah.
right? It makes
Right.
more sense for me to just do the homework because my wife's making $500,000 a year,
yes.
but that like doesn't match with their personas at all. So I think,
The man is still the head of the household.
well, the Montauk thing, I
Yeah.
think like the fighting the patriarchy is like them having voices. I feel like it's
Yeah.
that they're even like speaking, which to me doesn't feel like
Radical.
radical, but
Sorry.
maybe it's radical for their community.
I think it
Maybe.
is.
Like maybe
when
they're really the Jezebels in their community. I guess The Secret, which is like a Mormon newspaper in Utah, like disowned all of like most of them. Like said like they are not affiliated with Mormonism.
Well,
So,
in season 2, a lot of them talk about like, I don't go to the church
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
I was
like,
kind of wondering, like, are they fringe Mormons? Like, were they in the center? Because some of them make it seem like
The
they're
endowed ones were.
pivotal. Yes.
Most of them were. If you
Hmm.
like remember, there were times where like people were reciting texts, like they weren't drinking coffee. Like I feel like even when Taylor was like drinking season 1
They were
once
like,
or
"What?"
twice, they were very like, like people, it wasn't like breaking the rules wasn't taboo. It was just
Yeah.
like, but we won't kick you out. And maybe that's like the modern version.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was bizarre to me to see this. The other thing that I'm not surprised about, but was really sad to watch was that these like Jen and Taylor, maybe Jen and Taylor both being in like abusive relationships.
Can we talk about the Chippendales? Is
Yes,
that
we
what you're
need to.
getting
Yes,
at?
I'm getting to Chippendales. Yes. Break down Chippendales.
Well, okay, here's the deal. Again, they're all getting brand deals, right? Like, I don't remember if Vegas them going was a brand deal or not.
It was for Layla's, like, divorce something.
But
Oh.
it really wasn't for any of that. I feel like it was like
Yes.
the sex toys. They got a brand deal for that, and they made
And they
it
made it a
seem
thing.
they made it a thing.
Yeah,
It's
it was
true.
like women empowerment.
Yeah.
Either way, they do the like Chippendales, like Magic Mike type.
So they
Type
all go
show.
to first of all, they all go to Vegas, and everybody's husband is supposed to stay home. It's supposed to be like a girls' trip, but that's really for the show. It's a work trip. Half of them don't even like each other. Like, let's be
Right.
honest, it's a work
Right.
trip. Like they even have like coordinated matching PJs. Like they're bringing everything to be shooting. Like
Yeah,
it's a
on
work
brand.
trip.
It's a brand deal. Like it's
Yeah.
all about like
Yeah.
all of that.
It's
all
a
about-
work trip. They can spin it however they want to. It's so interesting to watch these men devalue the work their wives do, but also they
Reap
could
the
never do
benefits.
it.
Yeah.
None of those men could ever do what they do.
No.
I'm so sorry. Like
And they're
dad talk will never become
Dad
what
talk will never be.
will
a
never
thing.
be.
What do the men look like? Because some of the women
do you
are
think
really
they-
attractive.
Yeah,
What do you
right.
even though
think
I
they
hate
look
them.
like?
They look like
They look-
basic white men who care about their appearance though. So they all have like nice haircuts, nice clothes, clean shaven.
Okay.
Who do you think has the cutest wife or cutest husband?
None of them. Demi. Demi might have, but it's also because he looks the most grown. The rest of them look like
He is the
teenagers.
most grown.
Yeah, girl, because he is grown
40
AF.
something.
He's in his much older than that.
40
I
something.
feel like he's older.
No,
I
he's
don't
much
know.
older than that. Yeah, no, he's way older than
I thought
her.
he was like 46 and she's 23. No, she's 30. You're right.
Yeah. The Montauk husband.
Okay, yeah.
The one in the front, Gabe, you see the picture with the red and the 3 guys?
Yes.
The one in the front is the one that Rachel said is attractive.
No.
Yes, it is.
Oh, is that him?
Yeah.
Oh, that doesn't look like him there.
Oh, sure. So,
That looks like him. The one in the black.
the
He
one
looks
in the
young
black
middle.
in the back is Dakota.
No, the one that other picture.
In the hat. There you go.
Or the one below. That's what he looks like with Demi.
No, that's Chase.
He's got a thumb
Over.
face.
Taylor.
Thumb head.
Demi's husband is who I'm
Right
saying
there.
is the handsome
The
one.
son, the U.S. son.
Yeah. Who is the influencer Demi Engman? That's her
We're
husband.
just scrolling through men who look slightly different.
Yeah.
Basically,
Yes.
for anybody who's listening, they don't really look that different, but they do.
But
They're
Demi's
not handsome
husband looks
guys.
the
I mean,
best.
this guy's he's handsome, I
He
guess,
is
but
handsome.
If you were a white Mormon, you would have a lot of discernment between the difference between these men. If you are not, you will not.
Like Jen's husband looks like
They all look the same is what you're saying.
Looks like a Norse serial killer.
Not all of them
It
look the
is-
same,
it
but many of
is.
them look the same.
Yes.
Many of them look the same. So Taylor and Jen, this is the first red flag where you know that these are the husbands that are abusive. So Taylor and Jen's husbands are the ones that need to come on the quote girls trip, which we all know is a business trip, get a hotel room nearby, supervise. And then as they are trying to like socialize and engage, again, socializing with cameras there. What do you think is going to happen with the whole camera crew here?
Yeah.
And so they come with them to there and they like get an Airbnb or nearby.
Right.
And they're literally fighting in the like before they even get in the car to drive there.
Right.
It's like ass before
like
they even go.
It's like premeditated sabotage.
Like the entire thing is premeditated. And Taylor, I felt like Taylor and Jen's husband were ganging up together to kind of pressure them to be like, let's just wrap it up and finish this in the car, basically. Like, because we all know you're gonna go. Like, well, I don't know why you're taking a stand. You're gonna do what he wants. Like, some of the husbands give the vibe of like, why are you even doing this? You know, you're supposed to
do the other thing.
Do the other thing. Or you know you're not going to actually win this. Like that's the unspoken thing. So they go there and I did feel like the girls were trying to push buttons because they were like, again, this is the modern Mormon thing is like, it's a really, like they feel better than the women. Cause I didn't have to quote, ask my husband. Who knows if they did have to ask behind closed doors.
Because it's a show, right?
Yeah.
Like we're not sinning.
Yeah.
Because this is a show. This is a program.
Yeah.
This is...
Everyone else's husband understands this is work.
Right.
So they're like, I would never be in a marriage like that, which is like, you all took a vow not to leave the marriage and you guys all got married at a very young age. Like you really rolled the dice on who picked a nice guy or a not nice guy. You guys all guessed.
Yep.
You didn't really know. You guys were all stunted and very young.
Yeah.
Like whoever got a nice husband just got lucky. I don't even
It really just happened.
I'm so sorry. Or
There's
they
no way
came
for
from
you to
like a
know.
nice family.
True.
And like, so your parents were able to help you pick a nice person. But like, I promise you at 17 did not do anything to get a nice guy that whatever. So they're like looking down on Taylor and Jen. And I feel like they tried to stir things. So they went to Chippendales, which is the sex, like Magic Mike, like
It's
the
Magic
dancing.
Mike.
It's dancing.
It's men strippers.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, it is a show, right?
It's
like
literally a show.
It
It's
is
not
a
strippers.
show. It's not strippers. You're not. I mean, yes, maybe people are throwing.
It's like
dollar
going to see the
bills.
Blue Man Group.
Right. It's a program.
With dick.
It is a program with chiseled abs.
Yes.
And then they had them go because, again, everything's about publicity and everything's actually working. So they went back there and like, while they oiled up for like literally 30 seconds. So
That's right.
was it? I don't remember if it was Jen or Taylor's husband, but they just lost their mind immediately.
Jen's husband.
He was like, "You're the mother of our child." Like
He basically called her a whore.
After he went out
How
gambling
dare you
all
lubricate
night.
that man?
After
She
he
didn't
went out-
touch him. That was the crazy
Really?
part. The ones with the abusive husbands did not touch them. They didn't even go in the club.
Right.
Jen didn't even, I don't think Jen even made it in to watch the show. At least one of them,
Yes, she did.
the two of them.
I think Jen did, but she was looking really miserable.
Or did
was,
Taylor
like,
not?
so miserable. She was like, I
Taylor
know.
went.
This
Taylor
is-
was
One of them did not make it in.
Taylor
Yeah.
didn't go. But she didn't go with one of the other ones, I think, which is why it was surprising.
Yeah.
So they ended up, so then basically Jen was being abused via text. Like he was just saying disgusting, horrible things to her,
Abuse via text.
like emotionally.
Literally.
And then was like, I'm going to leave you if
Yeah.
you don't come immediately. And so she
If you're not here in the next hour.
when she was upset, she exposed to them all the mean things he did and showed the texts and stuff. And then she disappeared for 24 hours and came back and was like, we're in a great place.
Right.
And then they all punished her for eternity.
Well, but the thing was his whole thing, like, and even I feel like in season 2, his whole thing was like, well, but those texts weren't meant to be seen. I'm
Yes.
sorry that they got seen. Not I'm sorry for what I said. I'm sorry for being like an abusive piece of shit.
Yeah.
but they weren't meant to be exposed.
Well, because he was saying mean things about her friends too.
Yeah.
Basically being like, your friends made you do this thing. And Jen, I felt really bad for Jen because she was getting caught up at either the end of season 1 and the beginning of season 2. I think of like, you're a liar and Jen's a liar and Jen's a liar, and everyone's so focused on the lying. And it was really hard to watch because I'm like, well, she's being abused right now actively and she feels legitimately trapped. So
What is she supposed to do?
of course she's lying to her abusive husband. And then her friends started siding with her and being like, you are lying.
Yeah.
That was hard to watch.
What?
That was hard
So
to
messy.
watch.
They were like, you know, like after he got mad about the Chippendales, she like fibbed about how much she knew. And they were all like, you're a terrible person. Instead of seeing it as like, it gives he whoops her ass in private.
Yeah.
Like it gives he whoops her ass. Like it
It
doesn't
is.
give just emotional abuse at
does not
all.
put his-
She came all the way put together after 24 hours. There were no camera crew. There was nothing. She came back with a smile on her face after leaving 24 hours ago in the middle of the night. Like, hi.
Yeah.
It was
It is.
scary.
It was scary.
And not in a judging her way. And they're like,
No.
you're getting fucked up.
It is. I mean, but that's the thing. Like, that's like the cycle of abuse, right?
Yeah.
Like,
It's also financial abuse because she says that she comes from she comes from a poor family and his family is really wealthy.
right.
And so she's also now it's maybe she's evened it out because she makes money. But I wonder also like how much control she was under, like she couldn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. All of those things about this show were like just very, it was really hard to tell them apart.
Yeah.
But they all had the same message. They all had the same brand. Like it gave
Yeah.
like, you have to text and ask if you can cut your hair and change the color.
Yeah.
Like they are the plastics.
they're all-
Mormon
They are.
plastics.
They are the Mormon plastics. Okay, I have a question. So, like, again, because I feel like the whole thing is like monetizing, right? Like they're all about money. They're all about brand deals. And I feel like in season 2, Demi came on, or it was like exposed
Right.
that Demi
Oh.
was like, I'm the main character bitch.
And like was being shady with
Well,
her
what
friends.
happened was she was a fan favorite in
Yes,
season
fan
1.
favorite. Yeah.
She was a fan favorite in season 1,
She
but
can
you
let
can
that
tell
go.
that they didn't think she was going to be a fan favorite.
Yeah.
And people actually pointed this out on TikTok that like in the picture from season 1, she's all the way in the
Yeah.
back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like people were pointing that out of like
Yes.
she wasn't supposed to be a main character.
Yep.
And she was making the most, I think, comments pointing out the abuse. And she looked the most like rational and sane in terms of reading all of the situations.
Yeah.
Right.
And I don't know if she just got a good edit first season because like nobody really cared. Like she didn't really have her own
Yeah.
storyline. She
Yeah.
just like made little good. I don't know if she got a good edit or
She
what.
was pretty with a hot
But
She
then-
was
that
pretty.
it.
She had a good. She has some good extensions.
Yes, she
has a
does.
good
She
plastic
does.
surgeon.
Yeah, she
Yes.
does.
But then season 2, it like came out that it all went to her head and she was like a money grubbing bitch who literally was like, I'll kick my best friend off the show if I get more money. Her actual best friend.
Her
Yes.
actual
And then her actual best friend found out that she literally called the producers and offered that. Like, well, if we get rid of my best friend from the show, like, and they
Right.
tried to quote recover from that. That's how you know it's a business more than a friendship.
It is.
You could never, as
No.
actual friends, recover from that. I could
Right.
never get over that.
No.
Well, that's why I'm like, okay, like Rachel, like say like you got a brand deal, right? Like I don't even know, like you got this brand deal and they're like, I want you to do the podcast, but
No.
you gotta
No.
kick your co-host.
A, it's
to
in our
the side.
contract that we can't do that. B, I would not. That would be no. Also, she would be the one getting the offer.
I also just feel like it's so short-sighted long term. Because like you guys are building a brand, so to ruin your brand for one season of a show is so stupid. It's not business minded at all. It's not business minded.
No, you
Every
literally,
woman for themselves.
and it actually does ruin their. I wonder if this was authentic on Demi's part or not. The whole like kind of during at the end of season 2, she was like, "We need to get Momtok back towards where it is, and that's why we need to kick out Taylor, and we need to like get it back." But like everybody else is pointing out, we're not even about women. We're not even supporting moms. Like we kicked out
Right.
2 of the moms in the group. Do you think that Demi actually cares about Momtok, or would she actually like step out on her own? Because I get the feeling she wants like to like not even. She doesn't care if Momtok is there.
No, I think that without Momtok, she's not getting brand deals. She's not getting soda deals. She's not getting, I mean, I don't even know what kind of deals she gets,
Yeah.
but it's not giving swipe up and get 60% off without the Momtok brand behind her.
Right.
Like she can't hold her own.
It was so embarrassing to watch her be like, if Taylor comes back in the group, I'm leaving. And everyone was like,
well,
Yeah. When Taylor was like, okay, bye.
because everybody has, even if they might like not like Taylor as a person, they're like, we're not here without her.
Yeah.
Taylor's the most authentic.
Well,
And she shows the most of her messy.
she does.
Yeah.
Although I think she was also in an abusive relationship with Dakota.
Yes.
And she shows glimpses of like the messy, but I personally think that Dakota has been using the entire time and they've been hiding that for
I wouldn't be surprised.
TV, but he gives relapsed.
yeah.
And that gives like the real reason why
And
they're
like
not
he
back
won't,
together.
she's doing the whole like, also like the kid only sleeps at my house and you have to come here to visit the kid, which gives like you're kind of unstable.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, but I'm thinking this was some generational instability because I feel like even the mom kind of gives messy. Taylor's mom gives
Yeah.
messy too.
Leann, is that her name? Leann.
Let's talk about
Yeah.
So
Leann.
Let's talk about
Taylor,
Leann.
so Taylor has a mom who was a teen mom, like all the Mormon moms, but it's a little bit more
Literally.
shameful because she wasn't. Either she was married and he left them, or she wasn't married, they left them. But Taylor did not grow up with her biological dad.
She's married to
So
a
they were probably
Mexican.
like the Mormon skake family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're enmeshed, which means like their relationship is so close, you can't like they can't tell the difference between their own emotions, thoughts, feelings, desires.
Right.
And so it's hard to watch because like there's no boundaries between Taylor and her mom,
Right.
but also like
Like her mom will show up and fight her fights for her.
Right.
yes, but then she also tears her down. Like she's
Yes.
also like you could better work it out with your husband.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like it's very inconsistent. It's not
It
like one
is.
of those relationships where it's like, oh, you're just a yes man and you say yes too much and you act like a friend. It's like
Yeah.
it almost feels like the mom has never had control over anything in her life, which obviously she hasn't because she's a Mormon woman until she had her kid.
Yeah.
And like that is her life. Controlling Taylor is her life. Like Taylor is her brand. Like she wants to be the Kardashian, like a Kardashian mom.
She's like inserting herself in a way, right? Like showing up wasn't even for her kid. She really didn't really go to bat for Taylor. She just was there.
Well,
to,
she
like,
went to
be
bat for
messy.
Taylor's brand.
Yeah.
Because she's like, the way you're talking about Taylor's brand is out of pocket. And then she looks
Yeah.
more and more like Taylor every episode.
It's
also
so
not
scary.
the Jay-Z styles, like to
Yes.
the gift.
Yes.
I was like, wait,
Hilarious.
like
Petty McGee.
just petty. Just petty.
I loved it. Yeah, no.
No, it's bizarre. I don't know. I'm curious too around like Taylor was saying in the season 1 that she also didn't want to like try to be more a part of the church because she didn't want to be kicked out. So I also think a lot of them are like towing the line of like I'm not following the rules, but I don't want to be banished because I can't be a part of my Mormon community then.
Right.
So they like are like right and trying to like be right in the middle.
Well, I'm like, what does being banished or like what does being kicked out entail?
I don't know.
Town.
I don't know.
It's definitely giving small, like rural town. Like
But it's
everybody knows
not.
everybody.
They're not. I thought they're Parvo.
I don't know what that means.
Is it
Another
Provo,
town.
Utah?
Yeah, Provo.
Yeah.
That's it.
I thought they were in Salt Lake. No.
It's still an isolated shithole, but
But it just feels like again, like okay, if plastic surgery isn't enough to kick them out, or if drinking isn't enough to kick them out, like it's kind of like giving like, okay, well, what are we willing to tolerate and not tolerate?
They don't really give a fuck. Because the aerial shots of the place even make it look fucking tiny.
Yeah.
Like it's in the middle of fucking nowhere.
I'm looking up what happens when you get kicked out of the church.
Yeah, is there like a ceremony? Like
Withdrawal of membership.
What does one wear?
Oh, excommunicated. Yep, that's what's called. You can get excommunicated.
Damn.
And
Catholics do that too.
Yeah. What happens when you're excommunicated?
What does one wear to that? Do you get like, new acceptance?
What does one wear to that?
Do you get a
Black.
boob job afterward?
You have to take all your implants out. It's also the lip plants for me.
Yeah.
You can never attend any more like public meetings or be involved in anything like that.
Oh.
But it doesn't look like your family has to cut you off. What is that, Amish?
Maybe.
Yes, that's when you're like banished.
Shunned.
Shunned.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Scientologists do that as well.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Can I ask something that's going to make me sound like an asshole? Probably.
Yeah.
I don't want it
You're
to.
on a roll. so
I
go
don't
ahead.
want it to. Am I on a roll?
Go.
Okay. I didn't know that, but
It was a joke.
okay. No, it's okay. I'm comfortable with it. But what do you guys think of the whole like the pregnancy belly displaying like that?
Cute.
It's the rebrand.
It's cute.
I like it.
Yeah, I like
You guys like it?
Yeah, I like
Okay.
a belly showing.
I always think of it as like Like
It's
when
showing
it's
it
your
off.
wife.
I think if she's wearing because she's wearing athletic wear,
Yeah.
it doesn't seem like she's trying to. I think it's because the dance. It looks
It's
like she's
fucking
trying to be
annoying.
sassy.
I think it's fucking
Sassy,
annoying.
sexy.
And that's because, and I love children. I love whatever, having kids. But it's like, to me, it reeks of like, I get
Losing
that's
your
very
kid.
interesting to you.
It's
right?
very
But that-
generational.
It is.
I think more and more people like wear clothes that show off their bump. Like more like remember like in the early 2000s, it was like how to hide your bump, how to like make sure that your bump doesn't
yeah.
show. And now it's like people like Rihanna wears her bump out. People wear crop tops with their bump out. So it's also like a cool thing to show off.
Well, they're literally mom talk, so it's
Yeah.
very exciting when one of them are pregnant. That's why they did the
Right.
whole like roulette thing.
Yeah,
Right.
Because I think fertility is like
a huge
is
thing.
the best thing you can be or have as like a mom. And they're like some of them have more than one kid and are like sobbing about, you know, like doing IVF for their third, which is like I'm not passing judgment. They clearly all have the money to do it, but like to feel that level of panic at kid 3 is wild. Like most people feel like that about getting a kid.
Right.
Not like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Not about like 3, 4 in.
Well, and I still think, like, I'm not gonna lie, like, I still think it's all about money. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm a brand deal and I see that these girls who are going viral are making these videos, it's like, ooh, I'm gonna send them their leggings, my maternity leggings. Ooh, I'm gonna send them their nipple cream. I mean, who knows? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I also think, like, in like with it being like, you know,
Do you have any judgment about them monetizing their Mormonism or
their
their
kids?
I don't. I'm
motherhood?
like-
What about
I'm
using
like-
their kids as accessories?
I'm like, go off, do you? I'm not judging.
yeah.
But I also think, again, like, I think there's a method to their madness. Like, I really do.
Isn't it just like super vapid and idiotic though, in a way, or not? To do this,
Vapid.
I mean, maybe,
Vapid.
but when you're in like Fiji on a
Vapid,
yacht, like,
but to like, I don't know. It's a weird to sell. How many synchronized dances would you guys do before you'd have some sense of shame?
I feel like
sorry.
I feel like so
It's
what
I can't
what else
dance
are they
either.
going
I
to do
cannot
to
dance.
make money? Because they have to be home with not because they're not capable, but because they have to be home with their kids. Like the only other person who has like a job that I saw was a hairstylist. Not
Yeah.
saying that they're
Yeah.
not gone, but she like runs a company.
Yeah.
Right.
She's not even the person installing the extension. So it's also, I feel like, the Mormon hack. Like, oh, what else could you do besides be an
Right.
influencer where you like would still be able to do all your mommy wife duties? Because that's clearly the most important.
Well, that was like Whitney when she got her like vibrator deal.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It
And they
was
were
like-
what?
It was like, oh, this is money. How can I make this a part of the Mormon brand? And it was
Right.
like, I'm going to frame this as women empowerment.
Mhm.
You know?
That is like how they frame whatever they want to do.
Literally
empowerment.
women empowerment.
Mhm.
Quite
Mormon,
literally.
God, and dildos.
And orgasm.
Any last thoughts on these Mormon wives?
I'm
do you guys
waiting for
think-
season 3.
Would you guys be friends with an influencer? Like, I mean, do you think being an influencer is a positive thing? Like,
I have
you know what I mean? I don't know
feel
what
like
I
it's
think.
really hard to like
Yeah.
cut clips for TikTok weekly and be like, fuck those influencers. I feel a little
Yeah.
bit
Yeah.
like hypocritical.
I think
I
it's
agree.
totally different.
I'm also not lie. Like before coming on here, I did say to them, I was like, you guys, we should make a therapist talk. Like, let's do a video. Like we could be in
TBD. We're working on
TBD,
it.
you know what I mean? Like
TBD.
therapist talk.
I
you
do
guys
think
can
it's
apply.
different though. Like, I mean, or there's different ways to be it, I suppose. And I'm
Yeah.
just parsing my thoughts right now live. But
I think that there's nothing wrong with getting paid for being hot,
No.
True.
right. No, that's
which
true.
is what most of influencing is, male
It
or
is.
female. And then like, how do you build a brand around your aesthetic?
Yeah.
Like that, when I look at it like that, like would I feel personally embarrassed doing some of those things? Yes, but it's because my branding isn't around being hot. It's about like being interesting, and I don't find that interesting. So that would
Right.
be embarrassing to me. I'd feel like I was trying to get attention, like what they were doing specifically. But I think for them, like their branding is around being attractive, and I think it's exciting to them that they're like literally like high school. I don't know if Gabe, you ever hung out with a lot of high school girls when you were in
Still
high
do.
school? Well,
No, yeah. No, of course.
Take it back right now.
Yeah. No, of course.
But like they would literally be excited, like, oh my God, we have another hot friend to add to the group. Now there's
Literally.
4 of us that are hot instead of
Yeah.
just 3. And we can be hot
Yeah.
together. And we can go to the mall together and we can take pictures together and we all
Totally.
look hot.
I do remember that.
Yeah,
I do,
that's like
yeah.
a thing.
And-
so
and-
they're like, they are the embodiment of the influencer. So
Yes.
I think the thing that makes it different than a podcast or like stand up or like a movie clip or, you know,
Because
like
you're bringing substance.
substance.
Yeah.
Yes.
Substance and boob jobs.
Which I think that's what bothers me so much is that they are
The
play
substance
acting
is
that
the
people are
job.
interested in what they're saying. You know what I mean?
But
Or-
they are.
interested.
Because that's the thing is like, I actually think that, I think
They
a
have
lot of
they
their
have a real
views
audience.
are men. Like not even half, but I think like some of their like real views are men, but I think their followers and engagement are women. And they're wholeheartedly like people buying their stuff,
Bro.
following them. Like they are who a lot of these women want to be.
Her,
Oh,
Nara
yeah.
Smith, it's like the trad wife thing is like very popular. Women like doing things naturally,
Yeah.
kind of like it's conservatism is now like granola, which is kind of interesting. It's like
Yeah.
so it's interesting that it's
Any predictions around the table of what the next? Because we just had prison wives, we got Mormon swingers, we got like what's the next subgroup that's going to have their
Love
big?
Island is back, baby.
Love Island. Oh my God.
Who's going to be the next thing? It's going to be another niche.
It is.
Do you guys think that they vote?
Do the women vote?
The Mormon wives, do you think they vote?
I think they vote. If they vote how their husbands vote.
I
Yes.
agree. And I think it's giving kind of Republican.
Not kind of.
Kind
Yeah,
of.
Very
super.
Republican.
It's giving Republican.
No. That's why I was like, do we think they vote?
Is Layla a Republican?
Yes.
Yes.
Layla votes first and hardest to prove that she's a Mormon.
Yeah, she is.
I say it's going to be a BDSM like whatever like
Show.
like these kind of people, but they do BDSM shit in their spare time and
It's
just.
gonna be like
Totally.
Amish kink. Amish kink is the next
Yeah.
show.
There was a Amish one about Rumspringa or whatever. That's like when they get to go
Funny.
crazy. It was very funny
Isn't
actually.
that- they like go off and like do
For a
their thing
year.
For a year, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they can tell you forever that you chose it, even though you had to choose between having fun and giving up your whole community. So it wasn't really a choice. But,
I'm in permanent.
but you chose it. You came back. So
No thanks.
yeah, I don't know. I could also see them being like apolitical, like not voting, not caring, like,
Totally.
and just, having conservative values.
Even if they vote, I don't believe they actually
It's
care.
giving
Yeah.
privilege.
It's giving privilege, and if you don't do politics, what do they say? Politics are gonna do you.
Do you think they have a height requirement for Momtok? They're all around a similar height and weight,
I feel
except
like there-
Whitney.
Yeah, I feel like there's a height
You
requirement.
think so? I kind of felt like they were varying. Not weight, height.
Oh.
No, I think they were between
you be
5'6" and 5'10".
You think there
Like all of them.
is there plus size mom talk?
Yeah, true, girl.
Is there?
No,
I don't think that they would let.
Is there
yeah.
black mom talk?
Right.
no.
Are there black all black
BIPOC
Mormons?
talk.
BIPOC talk. What's her name? Is a Mormon? The black Mormon from the locked up
Yeah, no, she's
Love
not.
After Locked Up.
Oh,
She's
she
a
is.
Mormon.
Yeah, but she shows that as an adult.
I'd like to see like a hood housewives thing or whatever.
We did see that. It's called Love and Hip Hop Atlanta.
No, that's got too much money. I'm saying a fucking hood, like a yeah.
Facts. We have enough of that on TV. You can literally
I think
watch
that if like
baddies.
parents, like a parent one would be good. Like if you're gonna do like a sex thing, like parent swingers or like elderly swinging or like
Dude.
something like an
Elderly.
entry.
I would be into an elderly one.
Yeah.
I would be down.
Yeah.
When we went to a swinger event for the podcast, there was
Not we.
an older couple
Yeah.
there. Yeah, not us. Me and other people. And I was not participating, but I was there. And I would have if the right person, but whatever. I was going to say there was an older couple that were like maybe 60 or something like that. And their kids showed up to the same event swinging and they didn't know, like they found out there in front of us. It was amazing.
I died.
Did everyone have clothes on when they found out?
Yes.
Who left first?
But they both acknowledged like, we're going to be naked and fucking
My
later.
parents have
So
to
like,
My parents have to
Yeah,
leave.
who leaves in that?
the kid has to
situation?
leave.
No,
Fuck you.
I think
No.
the kid has to leave. Let
No.
go. I
they
don't know.
divided up the area.
They both stayed and divided up the area.
Yep, they said, we'll stay over here with our group. You stay over there.
Good for them.
What if you hear your daughter?
I know. The whole thing was crazy to me.
What if you hear your dad grunting on top of some random woman?
Rachel! Rosalyn's gonna lose it.
Do you guys
I'm
know
gonna
there's a
lose it.
moaning? You just made me think of it,
She'll be
Rachel.
at
But
lunch
do you
with
know
her
there's a
dad
moaning
tomorrow,
trend
sick.
in school?
Yes.
Wait, what'd you say?
That's no different than the penis trend.
My kids
Wait,
did it. What's the
wait.
penis trend?
You're
You-
just like, say penis and see if people.
and everyone gets a little bit louder until someone chickens out.
Oh, okay.
All throughout the room. But like
should
during
do that.
class.
In a synchronized dance.
Yeah.
In a
Penis.
synchronized dance, yeah.
You win.
Fuck you.
So I'm guessing the moaning challenge is the same. You just moan loudly.
Well, I had to come home and hear my children doing it, and I
daughter?
seriously got I got so self-conscious because I'm like, was my porn too loud or something like that, and they're mocking me. But no, it wasn't that. I learned that it was 100% just it.
Their
basically,
imagination.
No. This is where the X filled me in. It's a trend in their school. So my kids didn't know because, of course, then I just interrogated them, for a while.
Yeah.
Why are you
They
making
have
that
no clue.
sound?
Who touched you?
100%. I was going crazy. I was
Oh,
like,
God.
Did you make them cry?
No, not at all. And in fact, I did it in a very gentle way, but inside I was restraining the whole time.
Yeah.
Just where it's like, what? How'd you learn that? Tell me.
Specifically.
And
That's a family therapy
heard
session right there.
Yeah.
Doc's friend,
It
whatever, Peter at school that did it. But yeah.
Did you ask them what they thought those noises were?
Yeah.
What'd they say?
They said they didn't know, but it's funny.
Liar.
Sure.
Maybe, but it's like,
Cop-outs.
but I'm super open with my kids. They know
Tell
about
them.
sex. I already told them about how you get pregnant and stuff.
What'd you say?
I told them the truth. I
Which
said
is?
the man puts his penis in a vagina.
No, what'd you
and
say
then
about the moaning?
the moaning, I said that, I actually didn't fill that one in.
Yeah.
Because, no, that one I didn't because I
We
don't
have an
know.
honest, open, transparent relationship.
Because I know my daughter
We have
doesn't
this-
know. Because I know my daughter doesn't know. And
Yeah.
she was there saying it. So I'm like, why muddy the waters there, I guess? I don't know.
What a
would you-
terrible decision
What
as a
would you
parent.
say
Ruined
to
her.
Doc? What would you say to your son if it was like if you caught him on his own?
Oh, I would just tell him because that's a noise people make during sex. Like, I mean, that's not a hard one for me.
But it is to your daughter, to your little princess.
No, she's young. I don't know. Like, I just think she's younger.
But
to
she already
where-
knows what penis and vagina are.
Ooh. And she's already.
Did you tell her
I
ejaculation?
think there's a difference between telling what penis and vagina is and about
Did you
the
tell her
details
that
of
sex
sex.
goes with ejaculation?
I didn't tell her, but I told him because she didn't
The
ask.
sexism
She
is
wasn't
killing
around.
me.
It is.
No,
the sexism
no.
is killing me.
It is.
His daughter's older than his son.
No, she isn't. I was like, what the fuck are you saying?
Did you hear his? No, she isn't.
I wanted the family therapist
That was a good joke,
to
though.
judge you.
Yeah. No, she's younger and she's 2 years younger and she was not around for the sex talk when I told him that.
Yeah.
How old is she?
She's 7, just turned 7.
Oh, Gabe, it's time to give her the sex talk. She's old enough. She's
Yeah,
in
I
first
will.
grade.
I don't have any issue
When
with
is
that.
will? You just said you will.
Well, okay, why should I bring it up to her like now at 7? Like, why not just kind of,
Because
it
she
happened
needs-
naturally with my son at 8 or whatever.
Well, I hope it happens naturally.
Let's ask the
Well,
parent.
listen, I'll bring it up eventually. I don't know
Have you
why.
talked to your-
Yeah, good question.
Good question. To be honest, we have like a little. No, we have not. The short answer is
She's a
no, we have
baby,
not.
though.
She's a
She's
baby.
little.
She's a little baby. She's
like-
only 4.
Yeah.
She's 4. No, we have like a cute little book though about like a bears who like got pregnant, and it's like a kind of like a faith affiliated book. So it's like God gave us you, like kind of thing. And so I think right now that's like her understanding is that like mom and dad's really wanted a baby and they prayed for a baby, and then God gave us.
How
the
do you
baby.
feel about like younger children learning like the names of their body parts?
Oh.
and things like
Oh,
that?
that's essential.
That
I
is
think.
essential.
Yeah.
And I think like that is something that's like again, like you think about like abuse,
You
right?
get
like
abused,
sexual
yeah.
abuse. So if you teach your kid that it's called like a tutu and you're saying, oh, so and so is touching my tutu and they're reporting that to you,
And
you're
it
gonna be
doesn't-
like, what does that mean? Versus so and so is touching my vagina.
Well, it's also shame, right? Isn't it like you don't
Yeah.
want to teach any sense of shame around it because then
Right.
they'll keep
Yeah.
secrets.
Do you
That
think
is
any of
your
these Mormon
penis.
women got sex talks?
No.
What age do you think it is incumbent upon me to like? If you were me in this
I
situation,
really actually don't think it's incumbent upon you. I think her mom can do it.
I'm
no,
not mad
no.
at that.
I actually think I am the one to do it probably, just because I'll be honest.
God.
But I think that
Imagine your dad giving you the sex talk.
True.
I think if you do it early enough, it wouldn't be as bad.
Oh well, you're almost out of the early. No, I'm.
You
just-
think so? I mean, maybe I don't have a sense for what kids know at their age
I'm
or whatever.
giving you a
but-
lot of shit.
Okay.
I think if she doesn't ask about it before middle school, you got to tell her.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I would tell her at
That's the-
7th grade for sure.
the-
Middle
Cut
school,
off.
6th
Even
grade.
6th grade.
Because
Yeah.
otherwise you don't know what she's gonna hear from other
No,
people.
for sure.
And they will learn it from other people.
Yeah.
I actually
No
think it's really more important to talk to them about, not more important, equally as important to talk to them about porn. because they're gonna see porn. Like she's gonna see porn in 6th grade, even if she doesn't see it. I'm realizing it's somebody has a phone and like shows it to the other kid on the bus, kind of thing.
No doubt.
Like, just quick.
No doubt.
So,
Everyone
just like,
sees it at some point.
They say that teaching
seeing your first grown penis is terrifying.
Even for a boy.
I remember. I was like, oh my God.
We found my dad's video of the big blow, and it was one of the most disturbing things I've ever seen in my life. Like the dick shaft was hairy the whole way up. It just was disgusting. It was disgusting.
70s porn for you.
Yes, it was. It was. Horrifying.
It's also like teaching kids, this sounds weird, but like about pleasure.
True.
Like, and not in like but I feel like when they watch porn, they're getting pleasure in such a specific way, men or boys and girls. And it's like, what can that look like? What does it look like to be, I don't know, like stimulated in a healthy way? And there are like sex ed courses like that.
Yeah.
You lost me.
It sounds weird.
You lost me.
And I'm not explaining it well, but I think it's kind of necessary for like kids to learn how to.
But I feel like you don't have to be that explicit. I feel like you can say that like this is one activity that's totally separate from this other activity, and like what happens in porn and like how you feel when you masturbate will be much different than the experience that you have with another person, and like.
But I feel like it's also like I feel like you have to explain that like porn, like. Explaining what porn, unless it's like ethically made porn, looks like it's very violent.
Ethically made, free range porn.
That's what they call it, where it's like woman made porn or things like that are like not common. Like it's really not, even though we think it should be. And so a lot of porn is from the male gaze, and I feel like just explaining that to women is like you can watch it. Like I love that type of porn.
I watch women's porn.
I watch men's porn all the time, but like you can. I think explaining it is the important part. And maybe that's more what I mean about pleasure. Like not teaching kids how to like stimulate themselves.
No, I didn't think you were going to touch your kid. I was just saying that.
But I mean like they like they have like classes and things like that.
Well, I think it's important to like normalize it. You know what I mean? Like to decrease the shame around it of like there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing, you know what I mean? Like people do this versus it being like, oh, like a hush hush, don't do it. This is bad.
I agree.
Like labeling it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
We really took a turn there.
We
really went
That was
down the
interesting,
lane.
though.
On that
Got
note,
it real.
Before we say goodbye, plug and promote your business, please.
yes. Find your peace if you are looking for therapy and want to work with somebody that does not take themselves too seriously, shows up as a human first before I'm a therapist. I would love to chat with you.
And you're in Minneapolis.
So I'm in Roseville in person on Wednesdays, and then Mondays and Tuesdays across Minnesota.
Okay.
Virtual.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Do you specialize in something?
So I like to say I specialize in trauma, which I know is a broad thing. But if I had to narrow it down even more, I think people who have had complex experiences, maybe starting in childhood and or people who have never done therapy, who have like always had kind of their guard up or wear their armor close and haven't let people in. I also love being like that first person to talk about mental health and like just normalizing it. I think
I love it.
I think again, needing help is human and it's normal. So
And you take Blue Cross Blue Shield.
and I take Blue Cross Blue Shield and private pay.
Ding.
Ding, ding, ding.
We actually haven't heard Rachel plug her business for a while. Go ahead, Rachel.
Yeah, girl.
I gave
go
her shit about
off.
it before.
Yeah, so I also, as you guys know, and I'm bad at, I have my own therapy business, the Collective Mental Health and Wellness. I also am seeing people in person Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday now after 1:30. And otherwise, I also see people telehealth and online. And I mostly see folks who are 18 and up. I see couples. I can't take insurance right now. I'm working on that process, and I take private pay, but I do have a sliding scale.
Which means that if you can't afford the full rate for a justifiable reason, which could just simply be you don't make that much money.
It could be. I have a lot of questions about it. We're
she's not going to run your
system.
she's not going to run your credit.
No,
it's
It's very
starting out
relaxed.
trusting.
Yeah.
It is.
So don't if you like look her up and see her prices and it scares you, send an email.
Send an email.
So
I
you
love
might
working
be
with
able to get a
people.
cheaper rate.
You probably can get a cheaper rate. I'm just going to be honest. I like to work with people.
But don't take advantage of her. This is for her to help humans.
Especially if
true.
you've seen the podcast.
It's
Yeah.
true. If you've seen the podcast, you know about my shit. No, so
And do you have a specialty?
I would
Couples.
say couples is my specialty. I was just saying to Javae that I really want to get more into relational work and doing more couples work. It's just I feel excited after a couple sessions. And
And then you
feel
also did a
jazzed.
really cool training a couple months ago that was very in depth about like sex therapy.
I did.
And
I have my sex educator's license. Actually.
Wow, there you go.
we'll call that a specialty.
There you
think
go.
would. I know. I guess you can.
You can.
See, still bad at marketing.
See you guys.
It's the end of the weekend, but I still wanna turn up. Yeah, I still wanna turn up. All I want is to go again, but you ain't picking your phone up. Why you messing my head up? Any night, any day, let me take you away. All I need is just saying yeah, 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 yeah. Better nights, better days.
MBC. No relation to NBC.